How's it going, guys? Welcome back. We're here for the big opposition preview. West Ham versus Arsenal, London derby settings, of course, for tomorrow's game at London Stadium, guys. We've got a big panel. Got a few West Ham fans joining us, and just me and another Arsenal fan. But yeah, it should be a good show today, guys. Before we do start, make sure you go and sub to everyone. The West Ham fans channels are linked right in the title. Just go over to there, man. Show them some support. Give them a sub. And also get your thoughts down below, guys. Smash up like buttons and let's introduce everyone. We'll start with the opposition. We'll start with the Hammers, as they call themselves. Let's hope we can hammer them like we did last season, guys. But yes, it's been a while, but it's good to have my guy Tony back from early doors. Tony, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, mate. I'm good, and thanks for the invite as always. And yeah, I like to get that. You got that little spicy one in, didn't you? Just straight away. Yeah, you had to get the one in straight away, didn't you?
There we go. Big up yourself every single time, Tony, man. Great to have you on. And listen, we've got another West Ham fan. I've done shows with him on my guy Omar's channel. It's good to finally have him on my channel. We've got Mike's. Mike's, how's it going, man? You all good?
Yeah, man, all good, all good. Thank you for inviting me, of course. Yeah, not looking forward to the game, but looking forward to the stream, man. This should be good, man.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, listen, after what happened last season, you West Ham fans, I'm sure you're absolutely bricking it. But I'm sure we talk all about it in this preview. And then we've got this guy don't have a channel, but I've known this guy for years. He's a West Ham fan. Yes, Tom, how's it going, bro?
Yo, mate.
How are you, mate? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
You ready for the game?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Big up yourself, Tom, every single time. And then, guys, I sent it backstage to these man, but obviously 3 against 1. I had to get a bit of backup, yeah? My brother Rory's in the building. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's going well, bro. It's going well.
Nice one, guys. Nice one. Listen, let's get right into some things, people. Big up the chat as always. As I said, make sure you sub to everyone on the panel. The link's in the title. But I'm going to start with you West Ham fans first. Of course, not really as it's gone expected-wise in terms of expectations this season. Like, firstly, looking outside, obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I looked at your window. I was like, you know what, West Ham, you managed to have some good players, man. And I thought you guys had a great window, and you added on to the squad. You added on to the quality that you already had. With some of the signings you brought in. So I want to obviously start there first and foremost. I'll come to you first, Tony, mate. Before we talk about the season, what was obviously your expectations going into the season after having, how did you rate the transfer window going into the season, Tony?
I think the transfer window for me was pretty decent. I thought with that, see what we brought in and integrating with what existing, the players we already have. I was looking at the worst case scenario, 12th position, best case scenario, finishing 8th with what we got in. But then, as we know from that point onwards, it was downhill from that point on.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'll come to you, Mike. So obviously, in terms of that transfer window, what is obviously your thoughts going into the new season?
Yeah, obviously, I liked the window. I didn't really expect to be finishing around 13th or whatever, but I did expect to finish in Europe. And a lot of people were saying, I was trying to calm people down when people were trying to hype us up. Just because we had a good window doesn't mean they're all going to come together, all going to gel together. It never really works like that in football. It's just I wanted to get behind the manager just because he's new and whatever. But I think for me, I was happy with the transfer window overall. I'm happy with the squad, for what we did, because we needed to address a lot of positions in the summer anyway. So I think for what Tim Standen did, it was decent, but I didn't expect to finish to be this low in this part of the season, but I also didn't expect to be in Europe or anything. I predicted 10th, in mid-table, so I expected that and at least an identity on the pitch. We haven't got that, in my opinion, so far. So yeah, it hasn't really worked out so far.
Yeah, 100%. And finally, Tom, mate, I mean, do you sort of agree with what Tony and Max were saying there about your transfer window? And what was your expectation going into the season as well, man?
Yeah, I do. I totally agree. I think the signings were good, really good, but I'm not happy at the moment the position we're in. But we'll just have to see how it goes, But I was confident going into the season, but I didn't expect this to where we are now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, let's talk about obviously why you are in this position. I mean, again, I'm looking just from correct me from if I'm wrong, West Ham fans, yeah, but it's this manager that you guys have right now in Lopetegui, who of course, I saw this guy at Wolves, man. I saw this guy at Wolves, and he failed at Wolves for me. He got sacked from Wolves. It's like, why would you hire someone who got sacked who's already failed in the Premier League? That was my biggest question looking into it. I understand that he won the won Europa League at Sevilla, but it's Sevilla, mate. I mean, look how Emery dominated to find about 3 of them. I think that Mendebar won one with them as well. So they're not in Europa Leagues. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I was looking at it thinking, why did you get a guy who got sacked at Wolves? And obviously, you guys currently sit 14th place in the Premier League. Very inconsistent season. And I look at it this way with him. It's like these types of results that he's getting, yeah, he's on the verge of getting sacked or like the pressure on him, and then he pulls something out of the bag. Like the Man United game, you guys won 2-1. Like the Newcastle one that you won on Monday night, you must have been thrilled about that in terms of the performance and result. But it's like, where's this been all season? I'll come to you first, Tony, on this one. Your manager, bro. I mean, would you say the biggest issue on why you've been falling so behind so far this season?
Well, do you remember obviously Claudio Ranieri? I mean, he was known as the Tinker Man. Lopetegui has gone levels above him. You know what I mean? He's got levels above that man.
Yes.
Because he shocks you every single time. 1 week it's this team, then also the week after he changes to another team, the week after he changes it again, and the week after he changes it like this. And you think to yourself, I'm sure he's got one of them kind of little bowler hats there. Pick up the night. Yeah, that one I do. Yeah. Yeah, that I do. And then from there, he picks a squad. But Monday, it's like, you see certain people thinking all is forgiven because we've done really well in that one game. I mean, like, I'm still shocked by that game. I did a watch along for that game with a Geordie lady, with Mama Flossie and that. But even she was surprised how we were. And I think it was long overdue. I mean, the only thing I could say, which was the greatest part about it, and maybe that's what he's got to do from there on, he's got to be the raggedy arse man because he had growth going on. His hair was all over the place. He looked old. Yeah, he looked bare. I mean, I'm old, but he looked bare old. Simple as that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think if you look at it, if this is a sign of what's to come, okay, because I must admit, when he first was appointed, I was Dewey out. Yeah, because we knew what he did, what happened with Wolves. We know obviously the Barca and the Spain job went on there as well.
Yeah.
And and big up to Tom and obviously Mike's been the West Ham guys and that, and Roy. We've been together before on this show. Yeah. We know how this goes, but when you look at it, it's a case of, is he the right man for the job? No, 100% he's not the right man for the job. But if he can pull out things like he did on Monday, then who knows?
Yeah, it's interesting there. I mean, was obviously like I've been hearing when we've done shows on my channel, Mike's, about your thoughts on obviously Lopetegui, but it's like for you, right? Is it majority West Ham fans looking at the same situation, sort of had the same opinion with you? Like they know he's not the right guy, but it's like one of those ones where these types of results that he pulls out sort of saving his job.
Yeah, I think most of the people that don't live their life on Twitter kind of agree with us. I think I agree. Basically, like when it comes to tinkering, like this guy takes it to a whole new level in terms of the fact that we look like a whole different team every week. Not even in just of performance, but in terms of style. Like there's one game where we'll just lump the ball in the air constantly. There'll be other games where we just play it on the ground constantly. And the thing is, all you got to do really with this group of players is let them play with a bit of freedom like they did against Newcastle on the ball, and then you kind of get the best out of them. That's been kind of the problem this season where, for example, like going back to the first international break, a lot of us would have taken positives against Man City, given the performance, like the way we actually created chances and stuff. You can put it more down to the fact that the players didn't finish their chances. But as soon as we came back from international break and we played against Fulham, we just hoofing it up the pitch, Souček in the 10 right next to Antonio with Rodriguez and Alvarez behind him. There's no creativity in that midfield, in that lineup. He kind of just shifts from one team to the other. We don't know what the identity of a Lopetegui team is. And I think everyone has been saying that. Neutrals, Premier League fans, like when we discussed it with Omar before, like that's been the main problem for me. It's like, it's not, people will scapegoat like certain players and stuff like that. I've been critical of players, but I've had to put my like biases aside or like critics aside or praises aside for certain players, I'll be like, well, even the players that we don't particularly rate, the manager can get a whole lot more out of them. But the thing is, again, on Monday, we've seen glimpses of that, like against Ipswich for 80 minutes, like Man United for 45 and Crystal Palace for 45, and a little bit against Man City as well. But we change into a different team the next week. So that's why I've not really taken too much confidence, despite the fact that we beat Newcastle. I think even off the ball, we still look like we don't put enough pressure on the ball, but we sit high up.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we do that against Arsenal, Odegaard's going to have a field day with his passing range, and Saka, when he's running at your defense, it's kind of long for that. Like, and I still think there are like negatives in there that could come into other games where we come up against better opponents, etc. Obviously, going to Newcastle, like it's hard for us. We haven't won against Newcastle in 3 years, and last time we won against Newcastle, they had like Steve Bruce, and we had Moyes like in 2021 and stuff. But coming up against harder opponents, we'll get caught out like playing like that still.
Yeah, no, 100%. Tom, obviously, I mean, are you in the same boat? You know, is Lopetegui this guy who, you know, needs to be sacked for you?
Yeah, he's definitely not the man, definitely not. But I don't really like the way, like his tactics. Sometimes, some of the ways he plays, I disagree on some of them. But I think tomorrow's game, like you got to look at it, like it's basically a free hit because afterwards we've got Leicester and Wolves, so they're the most important game, more important games. Because, in my opinion, you should be beating Leicester and hopefully win against Wolves. But I don't think he's the right man for the job. As soon as he came in, I have my doubts. So
Yeah, nah, 100%. And just quickly talking about, yeah, go on, mate.
I'm just saying, not for me, Lopetegui. And
Yeah,
when you watch us, we can get really open. Like teams can just go through us, like bread and butter. It's like stupid.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Just obviously on, you know, this manager, I think eventually you will draw a line with him, and you know, as you guys all say, you know, he's not the right guy. But in terms of like, there's been a few names thrown around him replacement wise. For you, Tony, what managers out there would you? And you know, I've been hearing like the likes of Terzic, you know, from the Dortmund. I kind of think you guys could have gone with like a Portuguese style manager. Obviously, Amorim before he went Man United, I think would have been a great appointment for you guys. That Porto manager who left, I think Conceição, I think that's his name as well.
Banded around, yeah.
Yeah, so I think there was many names out there, but in terms of replacements for Lopetegui, what type of manager do you think that you'll go with, and in terms of like who do you want personally as well?
Well, who I'll go for personally in that, and I've said it from day one on that, and that's Thomas Frank. I like what he does at Brentford. I like the fact that he builds up a rapport, not only just with the players, but with the fans. That in itself, to have that 12th man with you, that's the, you know, you got to go with that. I mean, and when you listen to, you know, post-match talks, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He does know his stuff. The only kind of hard part to prize him away from Brentford is he's got such a good relationship there with the board.
Yeah.
That's the problem, you know, but that's the one for me. I mean, I know we've heard people saying Graham Potter, interim, see it out the season. It possibly could be a fit. You know, I know everyone's saying, well, look what he did at Chelsea, but not being funny, and I think you can all agree on it. He should have never gone to Chelsea in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, we're saying about Lopetegui on Monday looking old. Chelsea aged that man. You know, it aged Graham Potter, and he still looks bad to this day. So, one of those.
I think that's a good shout as well, Graham Potter, just interim, because you know of what he obviously did at Brighton. To be fair, like obviously I know at Chelsea it didn't work out, but you know what Chelsea, like the pressure on Chelsea, you know, and I can't remember, was Roman still in charge when they had Potter, or did he leave? Was he left by then?
No, that was I think it was gone by then. I think there's a Bowley thing.
Gone by then. But anyway, the Chelsea have like this pressure in terms of, you know, delivering, and you see how managers don't last there. But at Brighton, I feel like, because, you know, the position where you are right now, you know, you're in a very bad spot, 100%. But if he can push you up to that heights of maybe, you know, European football again, where you once were under, you know, Moyes, you're playing Europa League. You guys won Conference League and West. I think he can get you back up to there, of course. But yeah, I think as you said with Thomas Frank as well, that is a fantastic shout, man. Because I feel like he's such an underrated coach, such an underrated manager as well. I think he's done an excellent job to keep Brentford in the Premier League for many, many years as well. And I think eventually he will eventually move on from that. So I think that's a great shout there, Tony. But what about you, Max, in terms of possible like names for replacements for Lopetegui?
Yeah, obviously, like I think the club will go with Terzic because like he's already been here as an assistant manager. He has that relationship with David Sullivan, and David Sullivan doesn't like to hire any manager that isn't already at a club. Like he doesn't like to pay compensation, as we all know. That kind of says it all with the Lopetegui appointment. I wanted to believe, cool, it was a started appointment and all that. I tried to say in the first place when he got hired that it wasn't, but I was like, okay, let me take it with a pinch of salt. Let's say it is a started appointment. Let me try and get behind it. But when you look at it, really, Stardon is in charge of the transfers. And Cool Sullivan stepped away from that. We've been begging him to step away from that. However, with the managers, he's still in charge, which doesn't make any sense. When you hire a director of football, you got to let them take charge of all the footballing decisions, not just half of it. And with Terzic, I've spoken to a lot of people that watch Dortmund, and the guy is just as identityless on the pitch. In terms of the fact that he got them into a Champions League final, listen, that is great. Nobody expected Dortmund to get there. I get that. But at the same time, for what we need, we just need someone that can get the best out of the players that we have. I think football is that simple. Football is as simple as that. If your manager's not getting the best out of the players that you have, then they're not the right fit. I think with the managers that I'd like, if we're talking free agents, then Maurizio Sarri would be the best fit in terms of possession-based football and stuff like that. Discussed with Omar and Prime before, like, I think he get the best out of the players that we have. He tweaks it a lot more to the betterment of the players rather than to the opponent that we're facing. Like I think that's what we need. We need to stop having these managers that are. I don't mind pragmatism, but it's just they cater too much to the opponent. I like a manager that tweaks it and has good in-game management rather than you just cater to the opponent strictly for them, and it kind of hinders us, especially with the talent that we have on display and stuff like that. So either Conceição, as you had mentioned earlier, or Sarri if it's free agent. Obviously, the ideal one would have been like the Stuttgart manager, but when I think that was the original one that Steiner actually wanted, but he signed a new contract in the summer, and obviously he's never going to move now. They're in the Champions League, and he's building something good there. You might not want to jump ship to the Premier League straight away. Like in terms of the fact, if you've got something good going on in another league, you might not want to jump into the Premier League, even though the Premier League's more of an attractive league, where a London team, etc. There's a lot of reasons to come to West Ham, but if you've got something good going already, you might want to jump ship. But if we're going free agents, and sorry for me, you get the best out of the players that we have.
Just a quick one before Josh asks you then, Mike. I mean, obviously he's just been confirmed as the Leicester manager, but Van Nistelrooy, would you have taken him?
I always said that I didn't have like enough time to watch what he was, or sort of thing. Like at PSV, I only watched the games against Arsenal when they faced them in Europa League, and against Man United. And with Man United, I only watched that one game, so I don't really know what he is as a manager just yet. I guess we'll see against Leicester. We'll see in a few days actually, against us. But I wouldn't have known, to be honest, because I don't have enough like to say about it. With the Stuttgart manager, I watched like a couple of games, so I knew what his style of play was. I think with Van Nistelrooy, he seems like organise his defence quite well. I don't know how he like structures his attack and stuff. He got the best out of Cody Gakpo at the time, though.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
So
I mean, and
best out of our players.
You just said it though, and it's Sod's Law, and that Tuesday, Leicester, and of course, it's got a new manager. It's it's going to be the 5-minute wonder thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? Jesus Christ, you know.
I think Maurizio Sarri is a fantastic shout as well. You know, he's itched out there. You know, left Lazio. I think he did decent there as well. Played some really good football. You know, we've seen him in the Premier League with Chelsea as well. You know, with Juventus as well, he did an excellent job in the 2013 season, whenever it was, and obviously at Napoli as well. So, experienced manager, plays some really good style football as well. And I think with him, you guys will actually have a proper go, especially with the quality around, as Max was saying, like the players you got. Because you know, we're going to talk more about your players in more in depth, because I think you got some quality there. I just think in terms of the management side of things, he has not got the best out of them whatsoever. But yeah, just quickly coming to you, Tom, bro. I mean, where you at with obviously like possible manager replacements for Lopetegui, bro?
I think Ruud van Nistelrooy would have been a good interim manager and just take us out to the season and then rebuild again. Personally, I think.
Yeah, but he's got Leicester, hasn't he now?
Yeah, I know he's got Leicester now, but obviously, like, I don't know really. Oh, that was the one I would have taken before he went to Leicester because I think he would have done a good job. I mean, who's to say that Lopetegui could turn it around? But I don't have confidence in the bloke. I mean, we've wasted too many managers each year. We needed to get a proper manager and rebuild properly, get the signings in, and do it. You know, we've wasted so many managers. If you think about it, it's just.
Mike's just said it though, isn't he? I mean, when you look at it, you know, Steidham, we thought it's all him going to be doing all the pulling the strings, but no. Sully can't let go, mate. That's the problem.
I know. I personally, in my opinion, he needs to get out of the club.
100%.
I don't like him, to be honest.
Yeah, he's the next one's got to go.
He's a nuisance. You know, I'm not being funny. He's the main problem. You know.
Seen the size of him though. I mean, bloody hell, he is a dwarf, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, I know.
You know,
makes me feel 6 foot. But...
He was the only one that wanted Lopetegui. Steidham and Mark Noble didn't want him. So
yeah.
It was
there we go. Just a question. Big up Dommy says, will West Ham United question, will Alvarez come back in after suspension? I
don't know. Do you know what it is? He likes to play Rodriguez, and the thing is, I know in this game, even though, in my opinion, I don't know whether it's unpopular or not, I think he should go and change because that's the team that played well. Especially with the midfield, we saw Sola actually playing his right position. Paquetá playing a lot better than he has this season, and Souček playing well. So I think that should be the three. But knowing with Arsenal being like a bigger opponent and like stuff like that, with his pragmatism, he'll probably bring in either Alvarez or Rodriguez. I just don't think Alvarez is impressed enough for me this season. I know, like, obviously, it's mainly on the manager for me with these players, but Alvarez getting 2 suspensions in that successive amount of time in the same area as well, the same kind of suspension he got. Like, I wouldn't start him personally.
Yeah, there we go. So obviously, in terms of looking ahead to this game, London derby. It's kind of as an Arsenal fan, it's kind of one of those when we play against you guys, man. It's a hit and miss game because hit and miss results when you play against you guys. Because I mean, last season was a perfect example. Like, you came to Emirates, done us 2-0. I did not expect that, man. Keeping a clean sheet at Emirates, you guys did. And then I think even before that, in the cup, we went to London Stadium. You guys done us 3-1. Yeah. You guys backed us that game as well. It could have been worse. Could have dominated. And then, of course, we all know what happened when we went away to the Lord Stadium, the 6-0. Great day for us, of course. But it's been like that over the years, really, when West Ham and Arsenal play each other. I remember, we had that 2-2 draw where it was 2-0 up and Saka missed a penalty and you guys came back. I remember the 3-3 draw as well, I think 2021 season. You guys were 3-0 up against us. And then, we came back 3-3. I remember, the 5-1 against you guys at London Stadium when Alexis completely dunked on you, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the last time you guys actually beat us at London Stadium was all the way back in 2019 or when Declan Rice scored as well. That 1-0 game.
Quite a long while ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when we had Emery, So I think it's been, there's been a few draws in here and there as well, but. I'll come to you, obviously, first, Tony, mate. Coming to this game, we've just came off the back of, you kind of, if this game was a few weeks ago, right, you'd be looking at Arsenal thinking probably the best time to play us because we was on an awful run of form, right? Had no momentum whatsoever, just completely awful football. But the past 2 games, I don't know what's changed, but we came out international break and we're looking like the Arsenal that we once, that we were last season, battering teams left, right, and centre. Odegaard's back for now, we're ripping apart teams. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw what we did to Sporting Lisbon in Champions League, 5-1 away from home. Yep. Unbelievable night. Forest, a very good night in Forest side. We battered them 3-0 at Emirates. So, how are you feeling, obviously, coming into this game, London Stadium, London derby against us, man?
The first thing I've got to say, I've got to love an Arsenal fan. This delusion. We battered them this, and we did this and that. I mean, don't get me wrong, Josh. I mean, when you look at the Forest game, just like when us with Newcastle, Forest, you expected a better game out of them. Didn't expect that at all. them completely wrong in all areas. They just, I don't know, maybe they were shocked at you guys. The Sporting game, look, it's a cup game. It's in a different continent, different kind of style of football. So when you look at it like that, we are, as an English team, we are going to be stronger than them. So when you come to us, regardless of the results you've had so far, I think I think if we carry the confidence like we did from Monday's game, and that's going to be the biggest thing. Knowing this manager, is he going to change it? I mean, obviously, like Domination asked that question about Alvarez. You could just see it on the cards. You could just see it on the cards, mate. It's simple as that. And that is the worrying part about the whole situation. But overall, yeah, I mean, look, you guys are, you play some good football at the moment, and it's been long overdue for you guys.
Yeah.
Everyone's obviously now banding about the world masterclass in Odegaard. He's come back and he's looking great, and he's gelled the team together. But if we could do a number on certain players in your team, then you're just nullified, and it'll be one of those. But have we got that in the tank? I don't know. I don't think we have.
Yeah, I think there's some great points in there for sure, man. Because just looking back at that game when you came Emirates, you guys did we look back on that, and one of the reasons why we, because we dropped points that season, and we look back at that game when you guys done us. So I think you guys definitely can cause an upset. I really do. Even, like maybe, as you said rightly, that momentum after winning the Newcastle game, you never know. Like, I just don't know what, I'm sure you guys say the same. What West Ham side is really going to turn up against, Arsenal, on tomorrow. But obviously, Mike, so I'll come to you next, man. How are you obviously feeling, and what are you expecting in this game?
Yeah, I think the people that know me know that I'm never positive going into any game when it comes to this club. I don't think
I was going to say, I've only seen you watched you a short while, Mike, but
yeah.
I thought myself, there's a guy that breathes confidence and positivity all the way.
I just try and as much as I try and take it game by game, as much as I want to be positive, as much as I want to predict to win every game, I don't predict to win. I don't think I predict to win any game, to be honest. I didn't even predict to win against Ipswich at home, let alone Arsenal at home. But with this game, I never look forward to this fixture ever, because I know too many Arsenal fans. I think people already know how much I don't like Arsenal anyway. But when it comes to this fixture, it's just like, especially when Arsenal have Odegaard as well, the amount of times this guy, I know he plays well in most games, but the amount of times this guy's run the midfield against us, when we had Rice, but after we had Rice, etc. Like, you guys see it without Odegaard, don't seem to have a different game plan, or like anyone that can fill in, because when Yeri doesn't get the chance, he put either Marino or Trossard in the 10 or whatever, or it's just that right hand side in general. I agree with Tony with the fact that if we nullify that right hand side, like against you lot, then yeah, we could have a very good day. But it's just a case of, I think it's the way we are structured, that you guys will just have too much space against us. I like Emerson. I don't actually think he's as bad a defender as people make it out to be. I think he's decent 1v1, but it's just against Saka, like, I don't necessarily bring the best of confidence against him, especially like when our fullbacks bomb on as well. If we lose the ball, you guys can just hit us on the counter and stuff like that as well. Like, I feel like we just got to restrict the space. We got to be the ones almost not necessarily sitting back completely, but just dropping a little bit deeper. Like, everyone's got to be at least like compact. At least, like, if we're gonna press high, then if we're gonna sit high, we've got to press. Like, we can't just sit there and then just let people pass the ball over the top against us, like we've done pretty much every game. When it comes to you lot as well, you guys have got a strong defense. The way we played against Newcastle, like their defenses are strong. Fabian Schär's fallen off a cliff. Lloyd Kelly got bullied by Antonio. We're obviously coming up against a different caliber defense against Saliba and Gabriel. Like, Timber has played well this season. Calafiori's come in and done a decent job for his first few games. So I'm not exactly confident, but it's always a long day just coming up against Arsenal, especially at home as well. I'm never confident going into these kind of games.
Yeah, and are you feeling the same way, Tom, in terms of coming to this game?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, not feeling that confident, to be honest. Nah, I think we need to put up a fight, obviously, but we need to go at Arsenal from the start and hit them, and if we can nick a goal, because then it might. You never know after that. But what you can't want, you don't want to be going 1-0 down in the 5th minute and then 2-0 down in the 10th minute, because that's just going to be like last year, basically.
Like last year.
Yeah,
Worse.
basically.
You know what I mean? It's just going to be. I'll turn the TV off after half time, you know?
I think, Mike, you was at the game, weren't you?
I was at the game, so I should have
Sorry
left.
for you.
Yeah, I was with my parents. I was like, we should have left at halftime, even though we stayed till the end of the game. We was like, we should have left. Why did we just leave?
Fair play to you.
I
We
know.
never leave. So yeah,
Fair play there, man. But yeah, it was like, was it 4-0 or 5-0 at half time?
4-0
4-0
at
at
half time.
halftime.
4-0 at
Unfortunately,
half time. Yeah.
And to make it worse, man, like Rice scores as well.
the amount of messages and voice notes I was getting after the game, but even from people that I haven't talked to in about 10 years, people just messaging me on social media, just like
Coming at the
"Oh,
woodwork.
still." Yeah, they don't even say hi or hello, just still. I'm just like, all right, man, cool. Say no more.
Yeah, but yeah, Tom, yeah, as you say, man.
Yeah, just like you don't want it to go that way, otherwise it will get it'll just get nasty. You know, we need to go at Arsenal, especially at a good team like you. But I don't have much confidence. I feel just you need to keep Saka and Ødegaard tight, keep Emerson tight on them. But I don't think it will happen, to be honest. Not the way. There's just no hope. I mean, I've got a little bit of hope after the other night, but that was a bloody shock one. You know, I could see the other night before the game. My prediction was 4-0 to Newcastle. You know, I mean, I was watching it on Sky. Jamie Carragher and Theo Walcott had no hope for us at all.
Oh no! Remember, Tom? It was a smash and grab we did at Newcastle. Smash and grab. That was the words of them kind of thing. You know, the fact that we outplayed Newcastle. We played it out from the back for a change, you know, and in the second half we played. They weren't even there. 11 games it was all rolled into one on Monday.
Yeah,
I'm still kind of thinking, what changed? What made them change that day? I just don't know. I just can't make it out what it was.
Yeah, it's like
the
where's
shock.
that been all season for you guys, man?
This is the thing, Josh. You know.
That's the thing. We've only seen it in glimpses in certain games, but like we know what we're capable of with this group of players. Like we know that these group of players play better playing up from the back. Even the players that have never played up from the back before seem to play better when we play out. But this is the thing. It feels like I remember, especially at the start of the season, we play out from the back, and then there's no one receiving it in midfield, so we just send it long anyway. It's a bit like last season. I remember when we passed it short from goal kicks, just to send it long anyway. You might as well just send it long from goal kicks. It's like people are like, oh, but it's drawing the players in. Everyone can predict what West Ham are going to do. They're not even going to try and press you because they know that you're going to send it long anyway. They'll just win the second duel and hit you on a counter. So it went very predictable to play against under the 2 previous managers we've had.
It did, didn't it? 2 touch and hoof. Touch and hoof. What the fuck was that all about?
Oh God.
But listen, in terms of, I know obviously it's been in the dumps for you guys this season. You know, it's currently 14th place. You know, yeah, it's still November, and I think if you get a new manager in, you can get it back up there. But in terms, because I look at your squad, I think you've got some quality players. You know, as you guys are looking at there, and you know, hence why you're putting off these odd results because you've got some quality players there. I know, obviously, the big guy missing for me is Mohamed Kudus. You know, still suspended. I've been a fan of this guy even when he's at Ajax. Yeah, when you guys signed that player up, man, I think you got him for like, was it 40 million or something as well? Might have been less than that. Yeah,
yeah, I think with the add-ons and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but like when you guys signed him up from Ajax, I was like, nah, they got a quality player in there. I wanted Arsenal to sign this guy so much because of his versatility as well, man. And overall, I mean, we've seen how this guy can turn up in the Premier League. He's quality, but he'll be missing the game, of course, which is massive for us. But obviously, I mean, you still got Bo in there doing his thing. I think he's absolute quality. I've been really impressed with Wan-Bissaka this season as well. Obviously, you know, I looked at him at Man United. I think he looks a totally different player. Playing for you guys, it kind of looks like he's when he's at Palace. You know, I've been really impressed with him this season for you guys. But in terms of like some individuals, you know, based on this season, I'll obviously come to you first, Tony. Is what players, despite you guys being in the mud right now, is there any players that you look at who really sort of stood stood up for you this season?
The two players that stand out for me, from and especially from with all the new signings as well, Kilman. Kilman's been consistent. With him, I like the way he's come in, and he just got on with it, which is great. For me, he should be captain. Should never give it to Bowen in the first place. I think it just took the edge off of Bowen's performances. I think the England game was what turned him around. Getting that goal again is just giving that confidence back, which he needed. And Somerville, obviously the demise of Kudus being sent off is him getting his chances and stuff, and deservedly so, because we know what this kid can do. You don't become player of the season for Leeds and you drop and sit him on the bench.
No, 100%. What about you, Mike? I mean, in terms of some individual players this season, who would you really look at and say if actually, stood up?
Yeah, I completely agree. Max Kilman has been sensational. Like, people can talk about the price tag, but there was a sell-on clause to Maidenhead, so we had to pay what we had to pay. He was a captain at Wolves, so it is what it is. And nobody talks about the price tag when the player's playing well. Like, if you watch the player and he plays well, nobody is going to talk about the price tag. Kilman's been great despite the bad organisation at the back, the bad structure at the back. Like, we have good individuals at the back that could be a great back four if we had a proper manager to coach them, like Kilman, Todibo, Wan-Bissaka, etc. Wan-Bissaka, again, I didn't even necessarily want him in kit because I just didn't think he had the attacking quality as much as he had the defensive quality. But when he's come in, he's actually shown everything. To be honest, just playing out from the back. He's even sitting people down against Man United. He was even playing on a wing at times against Man City, played as a flying wing back on the left. When he played on the left or the right, he's been great. And defensively, we all know what he's like. And even when he was injured pretty much at the end of the Man United game, he was still giving Garnacho problems defensively. The guy's been great all season. Obviously, Somerville as well. I've been crying out for Somerville to start all season because I was sick of seeing Kudus on the left specifically. Because as much as Kudus is great, Kudus ain't the left winger. Because you're just making him go direct on his left foot. He's in the middle or on the right where he's at his best. I think most of us would have said Paquetá deeper and Kudus in the 10 would have been ideal if he actually wants to be brave enough. Or if you're going to not be brave, just play Kudus instead of Paquetá almost, if it really comes to it. But you kind of want all your best players in their right position trying to create at the same time. And Somerville's been one of them players that we've been missing where he's a fast winger from the left trying to cut in on his right foot. And we've missed pace for a very long time. You can almost argue it's been nearly a decade since we've had proper pace. We've had previous managers complain about the lack of pace in teams. Bilic was complaining about it all them years ago, Pellegrini and all them. But with Somerville's quick, he runs at players. He gave Livramento a very bad game. Livramento's a very good right back. Very good right back. But Somerville, when he came up against him, he had a 1v1. So, and to be honest, this manager's mistreated him. He played Soler on the first game on the left against Man United when Kudus was suspended. And Soler's a midfielder. I'm actually sick of seeing West Ham managers start midfielders on the left. We had this last season with Ward-Prowse on the left and stuff like that.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, everyone but a left winger starting on the left.
That went well, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm glad Somerville's here. But yeah, obviously it's them as well. I think with the existing players, I think a lot of people may have been harsh on Bowen, but Bowen's been misused all season. Bowen's been hugging the touchline all season when you want him goal scoring opportunities. And Wan-Bissaka making underlapping runs is fine, but as long as it happens against Newcastle when you're attacking narrower. So both of them are in goal scoring opportunities rather than Bowen's just on Bowen's got too much chalk in his boots, he's not meant to be on the touchline. And Wan-Bissaka's just being inverted all the time. But maybe Somerville, Wan-Bissaka and Kilman for me, the new signings have actually been decent, to be fair to them.
One of the signings I want to talk about is obviously the striker, Folker, that you signed. I know he's injured right now, but I think he's only played about 3 games. It's kind of when I look at West Ham strikers in the past, it's kind of a position where, I'm going off the past couple of years, senior strikers. It's kind of I know you've had Antonio there majority of the years, but I'm looking at, you're signing Folker now. Looking into the signing, I think, had a, excellent for Germany, for Dortmund as well, fantastic. I was like, this could be a decent signing, but I look at the Scamacas you had as well, that didn't work out. I think, was it Sebastian Haller? Well, yeah. Haller. How are you guys sort of assessing this whole Folker signing? I know he's obviously out injured now, so you've not seen a lot of him, but I'll start you, Tony, man, in terms of Folker again. Is that been a position for you over the years where you just haven't really got it nailed down, the striker?
I think if you look at it, going back on Skamaka and Haller, we had two strikers there who knew how to score goals. It was just that Moyes liked playing one up front,
Yeah.
and you need to play for their strengths. And when you kind of just play one man up top, and he's not used to being on his own, that's where the goals dried up. I mean, look, those two players moved on, and they scored goals for fun.
Yep.
Yeah, so that you don't become bad overnight. It was just like, and I say it on my show, when you look at Darren Bent when he played for Charlton, he was banging in goals for them. Went to Spurs, and sorry, I just ate the mouth then, and then from that point onwards, he moved on because at Spurs he did nothing because Ramos didn't play him in the same way. But these two players, we moved on there. With Antonio, yeah, we've relied on him too much.
Yeah.
And with Fulkrug, I don't know. It just seems a bit of a mystery, this one. I mean, apparently he got injured. Then we went off to Germany to get this so-called injection that's supposed to kind of help him out. Ends up going on some kids quiz TV program. and then, we've just seen photos of him and that. Don't know if the man exists. Don't know if he's kind of... it was just like someone we've just signed off the street. I don't know,
But it's a bit like Maxwell Corno. Didn't see him for a few months.
But the thing there, Tom, at least you see him on the bench. That's the difference. You can see him when he was there. It's the fact that 1 minute it was a case of he should be back for the Newcastle game. Then they're saying he's going to be back for this game tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
It's just a case of if it's not going to happen, cut our losses and run. Get rid of the player, and let's get something in the January window. Something that's going to do something at least. I mean, the only kind of positive you can say out of our striker thing at the moment is Danny Ings, because at the moment when he does come on, he's got a bit of fight about him. He looks like he's actually going to score, and I think that's what he needs. If he gets a goal, then I think you'll see more. It'll open the floodgates for him.
No, yeah, well said, man. I mean, are you sort of agreeing with Tony there, Mike's, about your striker situation?
Yeah. I pretty much agree. It's like, I don't know whether Fulkrug exists either. I don't think he's existed since the Champions League final, to be completely honest. Like, I don't think he actually exists. Like, I don't think anybody's seen him really. But with Fulkrug, I like the signing at the time because I get people were talking about the run at the time, but they wanted a lot of money and it looked like he was never actually going to leave, despite doing all of this in his Instagram stories and stuff like that. But like, the thing is with Fulkrug, I like the player. Obviously, it's just unfortunate he's got injured and stuff. It is a bit like the Maxwell Cornet situation where you get injured, then he's actually more not like injured for longer than we've actually seen him, which is the most West Ham thing ever because we always sign players that do this. Like we sign players instantly and then they get injured like just straight away. And even when they're not playing the game, I don't even think he got injured in a game for us. It was for Germany on the first international break, and then we just haven't seen him since. Like I think. To be honest, even if he would have played, even if he would have started, knowing our fan base, they would have given him 10 minutes. And if he didn't score in 10 minutes, they would have called him a flop anyway. And he wouldn't have got any service like most of our strikers. With the whole Skamaka and Haller thing, I'm in agreement with the fact that these guys are decent players. With the whole Moyes thing, Antonio was Moyes' system. That was the whole Moyes system. It was Antonio, like a striker that just scraps down the touch, like down the channels and stuff, and tries to bring players in from the box and stuff like that. Like Moyes did not know how to put a striker in that wasn't Antonio, because any other striker is just a traditional number 9. But he was putting square pegs around holes when we played Haller and Skamaka. Haller played in a 2 up front and in a 3 up front. Ajax with Ten Hag, and with Skamaka, it's similar ways. Like at Atalanta, he plays with Lookman, and when you got to switch it up, like. But Moyes didn't know how to do that. He only knew his way. Even though he was the one that wanted to change the style of play, he only knew his way. He said it in podcasts. I want to be playing possession style of football. I want to be more attacking and stuff. He got the attacking players and went with the same style of play. He just can't coach it. But with the Fulkrug now, yeah, it's just a case of the fact that it's just unfortunately he's got injured, and we didn't know it. We didn't. I guess you could look at his injury record and like maybe avoid that, but also like. It's just a case of we've had this for years. Like we've had this all my life. We've had this all in my lifetime where we've not really had a striker to settle down with. Either they're good and they've been mistreated, not used properly, or they're generally just not good enough, or they're just not the right profile, or whatever, or we just haven't had the manager to get the best out of them. Like it's always a certain circumstance, etc. Like especially in the Golden Sullivan and Brady era, we've had about like 40 of them. So there's a whole list there. That's a whole video. That's a whole video in itself. But
It's
like
true.
yeah, that's the only thing. Like even let's say Fulcrook was fit, don't think he would have got the service anyway. Not under this manager. Don't think he would have got the chances to really show himself. And I don't think the people, well, online anyway, would have given him the time to settle in because he's 31 and we bought a 31-year-old from another league. So they wouldn't give him the season to settle in, which I get in a sense. But at the same time, why do people think that strikers always flop at this club if you're not going to give them a chance? Like because the manager ain't giving them a chance, you might as well at least get behind them. Like, but no one, even if we signed Duran, for example. If Duran didn't score in 2 games, people would be like, is this guy the flop of the season? Even though it's only 2 games in. Like, that's what people would be saying. Like, but Duran wouldn't be doing what he's doing at Villa with us. It's a kind of a case of we got to play to the striker's strengths.
Facts, yeah. And as you guys, I think that's a great point when you look back at the other 2, as you mentioned, with Skamaka and Haller, right? I mean, yeah, they didn't work out you guys, but look what they're doing for their other clubs. Like, Haller was bagging goals for Dortmund. Skamaka, he's got ACL now, but he was bagging goals for fun. I mean, you saw how good he was in Europa League for Atalanta. So under a different system, under a fantastic manager that he had in Gasperini, you see the difference there as well. So yeah, great point there. But just quickly, Tom, what do you think about that Fulcrook signing and overall, man? What's it been like with your whole strikers over watching West Ham over these years, man?
I think the Fulcrook situation has been a disaster, a massive disaster since he's come in. But you're saying about Skamaka and all that, that was the thing. Moyes only went with one up front. That's what he did. So it was never going to improve. He weren't going to put another striker up with Hilaire and all that. So that's why Hilaire and Skamaka were so shit for us. It's just that was just Moyes' way of playing. I mean, it was boring like most games. I mean, it was killing me sometimes just watching it because it was running like a headless chicken up front. I mean, not really funny, but like it's just I couldn't watch it. It's just, but that's why he had to get rid of Moyes. But he did a good job for 2 years, But unfortunately, it hasn't worked for this manager as well.
Yeah,
it's just I don't know really what to say. It's a bit of a disaster though, the Fulcrook. I mean, you do miss him because obviously you left with Antonio and Ings, and I agree with Tony what he said. When Ings comes on, he's like got a bit of a passion about him to get run about, even more than bloody Antonio because he just jogs around the pitch. In my opinion, I don't think he does enough. I mean, but I think Somerville's had to come in and improve because Kudas has obviously been banned. If he didn't improve, if Somerville didn't come in and do well, I think it would be in a big trouble. I think it would be in a worse situation than we are because I don't know where we would be at basically. But I think he's been good, and so has Max Kilman. But I think Emerson has been another good one so far this season.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah,
shout.
I don't think people have said much about him, but I think he's been good.
Yeah. Let's quickly talk about obviously the way how you guys line up wise against Arsenal. I'll come to you first, Tony. What would be your predicted lineup for you guys against us tomorrow?
I'll go with the same squad that was on Monday. Why change something that's
there's a saying.
When you if it's not broke, you don't need to be fixed. End off.
Yeah, simple as that really. Are you in the same mics or you make any changes?
No, I'm completely agree. Completely agree. You got to just stick with the same lineup. Stick with the same lineup. Stick with the same approach that you did against Newcastle as well. Like exact same approach. Don't go long ball again. Don't completely change the whole system again, just because we're coming up against a different opponent. But knowing the manager, he'll put either Alvarez or Rodriguez in for Soler, or he'll do something even worse and put Soler on the left and bench Somerville for one of them. That there'll be one of them. One of them two will get benched for either Alvarez or Rodriguez.
So just for anyone who didn't obviously watch the Newcastle game, what the players like? How did you guys line up?
So it was Fabianski in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Kilman, and Emerson in the back four. You had Souček, Paquetá, Soler kind of roaming around in midfield, like swapping in each other's roles, and then you had Bowen, Antonio, and Somerville as the front three.
Okay, Bayern. Okay, yeah, there we go then. There we go. I mean, where's like Paquetá? Is he bench?
No, he's there. He was playing in midfield last game. He was actually out his best game last game, to be fair.
Yeah, it was a good link-up play between him and Sola. Sola looked, was in the right position, as Mike said earlier, and even Paqueta where he was. I mean, the good thing about every single one of the players, and even the subs that came on, everyone did their part.
Yeah.
It was just it's just a whole team performance, and like you said, it was one of those that was long overdue. So to actually come in like it did on Monday, why change something like that? Because if they can carry that performance, that kind of confidence, that kind of playing style, I mean, yes, we don't want to push up too much and leave ourselves exposed because obviously people like Saka, not so much Martinelli, because I say he's still not fit as far as I see it. But we're still it'll be one of those slog out fests if we're not too careful. But as long as we can contain ourselves, keep the positioning as we are, look to kind of get you on the counter. So I think Loppy's finally not starting to realise. Yeah, well done, Anthony. I know. I think when you look at Loppy's finally kind of looking at the Moyes here and realising that this team plays on counter and not his style of football at the moment.
Yeah, there we go then. There we go. Let's go through, man. Let's give our predictions. I think I don't think we could be clean sheet against you, man. I went 3-1 Arsenal. I think we'll get the win. We'll get the 3 points, and I still think maybe no clean sheet. I'm gonna go 3-1 to Arsenal. Tony, prediction, man. What are you saying?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I like to see the confidence in your face when you're saying that 3-1. That tells me you're unsure, Josh. That that's the clue I got out of that. Basically, that place. I think it might be a bit more of a tighter game, so I'm going to go with 2-1 to West Ham.
2-1 West Ham. Okay, Mike's.
Yeah, everyone knows me as Mr. Negative. That's going to carry on. So 3-0 probably to Arsenal, in my opinion. Just I don't expect anything. I never do. So I hope I'm wrong. And usually I have this Mike's jinx thing that usually it goes the other way, but it never happens for West Ham. So, but I always seem to be right when it comes to West Ham. So 3-0 Arsenal, unfortunately, in my opinion. But I hope not.
3-0 Arsenal. Fair play, man. And Tom?
I'm gonna go 4-1 Arsenal.
Cool.
4-1.
Yeah, I ain't got any confidence at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's my prediction.
Josh, what have you done to these boys? What have you done? You've damaged them.
Oh, he's ruined me, mate.
You damaged the pair of them. What the hell's going on here, man? What the hell?
I've always been like this.
There we go. The West Ham fans going, well, Arsenal smashing them. There we go. But anyway, let's chat everyone, man. Guys, I just say thank you for your time. Obviously, coming on the channel today, really appreciate it. Sonny, I'll start you first. If you want to shout your channel and of course where people can find you, my friend.
Yeah, sure. It's Early Doors Football TV. You can find me obviously on Facebook, on Twitter, on X, on Insta, and also going to possibly do a watch along tomorrow. And then obviously Sunday, as you know, is the Sunday Night Takeaway show, followed by the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly on Wednesday, and then on Thursday it's the West Ham review. So I just saw out this comment. It always gets me.
I think Anthony every single time.
These two talk more sense than Tony. So yeah, you find me, and obviously Anthony is with me on the Wednesdays with the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and as well as Hot Fuzz as well. But Josh, again, it's been a pleasure. Mike's, Tom, it's good to actually finally kind of, especially you, Mike's, because obviously watch your shows and I like what you do. So it's good that we actually kind of managed to be on the same show for a change.
Nah, Tony, big up yourself every single time, man. You recently hit 500 subs as well, right?
I have, mate. Just got over to that. Yep.
There we go. Look.
533 now, so it's creeping up nicely.
Ooh, halfway there to the big 1K for you, my friend, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you, mate.
Big up to you guys. As I said, both West Ham fans channels links in the title. So easy to do, guys. Click the blue at, and then you'll find them there. But Mike, bro, if you want to shout, where people can find you and your content you do, and all that really.
Yeah, big up to the panel as well. Big up Tony, big up Josh, big up Tom. Like, thank you for having me on, Josh. Yeah, at GVO Mics on all platforms, especially on YouTube. Just trying to hit 1K as soon as possible. And yeah, I've got the show. I've got a show tonight at 10. I've got the match reaction tomorrow as well at 10 p.m. And I have a show every Monday with my friend Alfie, who's an Arsenal fan. That'll be at 8 as well on a Monday. And yeah, just normal schedule here. Just shooting out videos as soon as possible, really. But yeah, at GVO Mics on all platforms, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube.
Yeah, no, big up yourself, man. Great to have you on the channel first time. Hopefully many, many more as well. And obviously, Tom, bro, I know you ain't got a channel, my guy, but big up yourself every single time, bro. Appreciate you coming on. And listen, listen, West Ham fans, may the best team win for tomorrow. Obviously, bad luck for tomorrow as well. But real talk, I actually hope you get a decent manager in, man. You know, and you guys can get back to Conference League places. You know, and that would be it for you guys. But anyway,
Look, it's amazing, isn't it? You know, don't hear nothing for the last couple of seasons, and suddenly, yeah, run your gums, as they say. You know what I mean? Run your gums.
Big everyone who obviously tuned in today. Thanks for your comments as well. And yeah, we're back to full smack tomorrow, guys. We'll see you there.